Vegas.
Stop the beat.
Vegas, baby.
Tonight, the only lights brighter than on the Vegas Strip will be on the field. Max Hall is aces at quarterback and brings BYU in on a hot streak.
Vegas, baby.
UCLA is on the run and hopes that its defense will be lights out tonight and that Bruce Davis can get the Cougars to bust. Tonight, the entertainment capital of the world hosts primetime football. The Cougars and the Bruins next.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
It is the Pioneer Las Vegas Bowl from Sam Boyd Stadium in Las Vegas. A sellout crowd on hand as we get set to bring you the Mountain West Conference champions from BYU. The Cougars ranked 17th in the country against the Bruins of UCLA. Welcome, everybody. I'm Brad Nessler. Happy holidays. A little pre-Christmas treat for you tonight on our Saturday night football matchup between these two teams. And this is a rematch, one of two rematches during the bowl season from the regular year. And in the regular season, in week 2, it was UCLA, a 10-point winner. But since that time, they lost 4 of their last 5. They also lost their head coach, Carl Durrell. So interim coach Dwayne Walker will be on the sideline tonight, and we'll see whether or not he will remain the coach in the future. That's another story. BYU, meanwhile, lost one more game after that UCLA setback, but they've run off 9 straight victories now. They're one of the hottest teams in the country. Part of the problem for UCLA this year, all kinds of injuries, especially at the quarterback position, including tonight. With more on that, let's go down to one of my partners in the UCLA locker room. Here's Bob Greasy. Grease.
Well, Brad, I want to tell you, I've been in a lot of locker rooms, but this is one of the smaller ones I've been in my 25-year history of my career. We just got word that Osar Rashan is going to start at quarterback. He's the 3rd-string quarterback. Bethel Thompson will be his backup. He's the 4th-string quarterback. Ben Olsen will not play tonight. What that means is they're not throwing any pity parties down here in the locker room. They're going to go out and try to win this ball game, but if they're going to win it, the defense is going to have to lead the way.
Grace, it's a little different situation here at BYU. They're probably the healthiest they've been all year. You know, these guys are on a mission. They've won 9 straight games. But back in the 2nd game of the year, UCLA beat this team on the scoreboard. Not statistically. So this is kind of a revenge game. And Ness, I had a chance to talk to Brian Keogh, the linebacker. And he said, let me just tell you, we're not big. We're not fast. We're smart. We're going to win this game today. They better play smart.
Well, they get set for the Bruins of UCLA, who have won 7 straight in this series that reaches its 9th game tonight. BYU is still ranked number 17. With more on that and the future of BYU, let's go down to Bonnie Bernstein. Bon?
Hey, Brad, well, I got to tell you, for as much as we all get beat over the head with the one play at a time, only think about the present mantra, it was really refreshing this week to hear the BYU players talk about how this game affects their future. Now, the Mountain West is not a power conference like the SECs, the ACCs of the world. And so, in order for them to get a BCS bowl bid, BYU literally has to bowl teams over. Quarterback Max Hall put it pretty succinctly. Their ideal scenario, they win today. Hopefully they're ranked in the top 25 preseason next year. They beat their non-conference opponents. They win the league, and then hopefully they finish in the top 12 and get that BCS bowl bid. Hall said, I don't know how else to put it. We want to win this game really badly.
They're the 2nd hottest team in the country behind only Hawaii. It is about 10 degrees under the normal temperature for this time of year, but hey, it's almost Christmas, and we do have a packed house, sellout crowd for another straight year. In fact, this game was sold out back in October. It is 41 degrees right now. The winds, thankfully, have calmed down because yesterday they were gusting at times between 25 and 30 miles an hour. So it's going to be a little bit chilly out there, but we'll warm it up for the Pioneer Las Vegas Bowl coming up. We mentioned this is a rematch of what happened back on the 2nd week of the season. Here was Max Hall, part of his big game throwing, but this was a big mistake, and that was Trey Brown going 56 yards the other way for the interception return for the touchdown, one of the key turnovers. And then the capper in that ball game was Chris Markey, the clinching touchdown. He had 50 yards on the night, and UCLA went on to win that one 27-17. They rose as high as number 11 in the country, and here's the guy that we had hoped and UCLA had hoped would be able to play, Ben Olsen. He's not going to be the starter and probably won't play at all. But Ben has been banged up most of his career. Here's the guy that'll see the start, Osar Rashan. He started a couple of ball games, didn't play very well against Oregon at all. He also started against Arizona State and put up respectable numbers. But, you know, guys, here's a guy that started off the season as a wide receiver. If that tells you how many injury problems they've had.
I just don't even understand how this team could ever win a game. And they lose 2 wide receivers, they lose 2 running backs, and the one that's playing tonight, Markey, is hurt, and they lose 2 quarterbacks. Greasy, have you ever seen anything like this?
No, I haven't. And Rashawn has started 2 ball games during the season. And Jay Norvell, the offensive coordinator, told me when I was down in the locker room, he says, this offense will be a lot different with Rashawn in there. So we're going to be a lot of rushing. We got a lot of zone plays in for him. And he also told me that Bethel Thompson, the 4th-string guy, will play. He's a very accurate passer.
You know, you talk about losing running backs, and actually they lost 3 running backs if you go all the way back to spring. They lost Derek Williams, and they lost Raymond Carter, and then they lost Colel Bell, who was probably the top rusher in the Pac-10 at the time when he went down to injury. So a lot of pressure, and of course it's a huge game for Dwayne, the interim head coach, defensive coordinator. Obviously you want to make a good showing when you're in one of these interim coaching situations, and there's about 5 of them going on around the bowl season right now.
This is his audition right here.
Austin Collie and Bryce Mahuika are the deep men. Jimmy Rothstein has got it teed up, and we're just about set for the Pioneer Las Vegas Bowl. Under, I think, a full moon, unless that's what Paul's been telling us all week anyway. Here's a kick. Austin Collie will take it at about the 9. Got pinned at the 25 and then broke away. Still on his feet. Collie at the 30. Collie bouncing out to the 37-yard line. You know, we talked about the Pinball Hall of Fames here in Las Vegas. I think he's the head of the museum.
That's very good.
What happens on this, it's just crazy.
So Max Hall, he wants to get a lot accomplished on this first series.
We say start fast, and so that means don't turn the ball over. Let's execute our plays, and really we want to drive down the field and get some points on the board. And if we can do that, we've been able to do that the last few games. And when we're able to do that, we're a lot more successful, I think, and it kind of sets the tone for the game.
Max out of Mesa, Arizona, originally signed with Arizona State before going on his mission and then transferred to BYU. First year as a starter, and he comes up throwing, completes it out to about the 48-yard line. Pickup of 12 on the very first snap of the ball game. As we take a look at our yellow book starting offense for the Cougars, let's check in with the king.
Ladies and gentlemen, the BYU offensive line, man, there are no teddy bears. And let me tell you about one guy, man, Austin Collie. He ain't no hound dog. The real guy, keep your eye on, Max Hall. Watch when he passes, man. I taught him everything he knows. Just like that, because he's a hunk of burning love.
Hey, and Collie ain't no hound dog, because on that kick return, he got him great field position to start things off. Thanks, Elvis. First down. BYU already near midfield. Hall steps up, and he's hit from behind, and the ball is out, and UCLA's got it. At the 43-yard line, hit from behind, the ball squirted forward.
That's why UCLA wanted this defense out there on the field first. If they're going to win this ball game, this defense has got to create some turnovers.
Well, it was the guy we talked about in the opening, Bruce Davis. Can he make some plays? And he did there.
On the top side, look at number 44, Bruce Davis. He just runs around the tackle, and this is something he did in the last game. Isn't that amazing? Look at here. I mean, just a great contact and concentration on the ball.
And Taylor comes up with the fumble recovery. So here's UCLA keeping it on the ground. Chris Markey straight up the middle, and he got it to about the 40-yard line. So Osar Rashawn, a sophomore, Pomona, California, 6'4", 212-pounder, 1-1 as a starter. And obviously he's got great wheels, but he was 0 for 7 in the Oregon game throwing the ball. So they will probably want to keep it on the ground. He's an excellent runner, and they'd like to get him some easy passes, I'm sure, to try to get him going as far as the air game. Nice hole off the left side, and Markey is very close to the first down. And he comes out of the pile and still running. Let's take a look at our yellow book starting offensive lineup and check in with Sammy.
Now, the front line for UCLA, I tell you what, those are some tanks, baby. But you better watch out for that Chris Markey. He's a cool cat. Now, Brandon Brizzle, he should be reckoned with also, sweetheart.
And I mean that, babe. Third down and less than a yard. Markey got the first, and all the way down to the 30-yard line, picked up about 4 yards. Once again, Elvis with the BYU Yellow Book defense for us.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jan Jorgensen is going to have UCLA all shook up. But Kelly Papinga, whatever you do, man, don't step on his blue suede shoes. But this is the real thing, man. The BYU secondary, everything UCLA throws is going to come back. Return to sender. Oh, heart.
That's the best.
1st and 10. UCLA after the fumble, trying to capitalize at the BYU 30. Markey got about 3 straight up the middle. Let's take a look at our storyline of the ball game presented by K Jewelers. You guys probably knew that every kiss begins with K. Bruins,
well,
defense and special teams,
yeah,
Grease.
That's what we've
already
talked about, yeah. And
BYU just want to keep doing what they've been doing over a 9-game streak, and they were doing well all the way out to midfield until Bruce Davis made the play so far in the ball game. 4 straight runs, 2nd down and 7. 5 straight runs, and it's Markey, and he's into the secondary. Down to the 18-yard line and a 1st down.
Yeah, so even though they pick up the 1st down, you know, right at the beginning, and Grease was absolutely right. When UCLA won the toss, they deferred so they could put their strength on the field. The defense, they come up with the ball, make the save, and now these guys are driving. This is Markey picking up the 1st down. I like this young guy, and they told us that he's hurt.
Paulson, the tight end, got a nice block on Nixon, the outside linebacker.
There's Bronco Mendenhall, 3rd year as a head coach at BYU. He's done a fine job, 27 and 10 coming in. 1st and 10, BYU showing blitz off the corner. Here's another run. This time it's Moline, and he's down to about the 11-yard line. Shane Moline giving Markey a breather, and he does the same thing Markey's been doing. You know, I don't know if when it's going so well you want to mess it up, but if you got to play action, you want to let the kid throw. It should be right about here.
It's a perfect time because they've ran about 5, 6, 7 plays in a row to start the ball game. They've got great field position, and you know it's 2nd and short, and you know BYU's got to expect and run all the way. You got single coverage up at the top of the screen.
The tight end on the move. They'll keep it on the ground. Markey trying to cut back on the left side, and he's inside the 10, and he might have a 1st down.
That's the first time that they even tried to run to their right. They're running to the left in Jorgensen's side, number 84. He's the defensive end in this 3-man front. He's only 6'3", 260. So it looks like they've been running at him and blocking him with Lonnet. I mean, they're going one-on-one on the outside.
It is a 1st down, I think, by inches. They're going to move the chains, and it's 1st and goal at the Cougar 9. Again, Davis forced the fumble. Taylor recovered it. As Dwayne Walker looks on, a golden opportunity for his offense to try to take advantage of that turnover. 1st and goal at the 9. Moline, the tailback. And he gets the call. Moline got about to the 7. You think about all things being equal, team this year, 6 wins and 6 losses, UCLA. Paul came up with this, believe it or not. Points for and against, and touchdowns rushing and passing. The only problem is you'd like to have about 10 more touchdowns and about 4 more wins.
Right, you've played 12 games and you only have 12 touchdowns rushing and 12 passing.
Those are bad-looking stats, man.
But they are even, and you did that one. We give you credit when credit is due. 9th play of the drive. Haven't thrown a pass yet. 2nd and goal at the 7. They might right here unless he runs it. Rashawn in trouble, and he's in a lot of trouble, but he got away. Now he's on his horse inside the 10, 5, and down near the 3-yard line. Well, that shows his escapability.
Yes. He could pick him up and lay him down. He was it was a good call. The play action was there. Watch the tight end. He's going to be open in the back of the end zone.
And he couldn't pull the trigger
Right
there.
there, he was open.
Brian Keel put enough pressure on to make him stop in his tracks. 3rd and goal, UCLA at the BYU 3. 2 wideouts to the bottom of your screen and 1 to the top in Dominique Johnson. Markey, the tailback. 3rd and goal, Bruins at the Cougar 3-yard line. It's Markey, and he's hitting the backfield. He's going to lose 2.
Yeah, they had an 8-man front, Brad. and they couldn't block the outside man.
John Doman came flying in there, and so much for the touchdown march for UCLA. They'll have to settle for 3.
What I don't understand is they marched the ball down the field running to the left-hand side, and they could have run back to the left-hand side again because it was open over there. Why go back to the right where he hadn't gained a yard yet?
Well, they got a defense they didn't expect, and that's what it was.
Key Forbath is 22 out of 26 on the year, and this is going to be from about 22. From the right hash mark. The kick on the way, and it is good. So they took the fumble recovery and turned it into 3. The Bruins on the board first. Now rising more than 700 feet above the raging waters of the Colorado River. That's a Hoover Dam, called one of the greatest engineering works in history. The energy that's generated from the dams allocated to 3 states, including Arizona, Nevada, and California. Somebody's telling us today they're building a bridge basically over that thing today that's going to be about 2,000 feet above ground.
You should borrow some of that in Georgia.
Yeah, we could use a little of that. Send it our way. One of the states that it doesn't have on its list. Second time for the kickoff for UCLA. High and short. It's going to be Austin Collie, who had a great return last time. From the 10. Collie's got another good one. Over the 35 and out to the 37-yard line. Oh, it hit in the backfield immediately, and this fired up UCLA defense. RB Unga is stopped in a hurry by Brian Price. He's on some people's freshman All-America lists.
True freshman, Brian Price. He just went down the line of scrimmage, and he was never blocked. He anticipates it. Watch him on the corner here. Watch this. Watch how quick he goes through. Nobody blocks him. The center tried to block back on him and never could get there.
And a loss of about 3. Second down and 13. Big Brian Price. Bob talked about the defense of UCLA might have to be the key. Boy, have they ever been so far. Here's Max Hall with the throw. Completes it out to the 46, and maybe very close to a first down. It's Dennis Pitton. I think they're going to be just a little bit short. Let's check the yellow book UCLA defense here. And here's Sammy, babe.
Now, BYU had better watch out for Bruce Davis. Now, he's a bad cat. Chris Taylor, he's no candy man, I tell you what. And Dennis Keys, hey, he's got everybody's back.
Sam called 2 guys that have already made 2 big plays there.
Yes,
How did he know?
How did he know that?
I don't know. First down. They gave him the first at the 46-yard line. Oh, here's Max Hall going deep, trying the same play. We got another flag down. Just keep throwing that fade and keep hoping the DBs interfere.
Interference. The ball was in the air when the defensive guy had his hands on him.
That's Werner. That's the second time in a row, and he doesn't have a chance with Cooley, I don't think.
Number 1 on a defense. The penalty will be declined. BYU will accept the result of the play. First down.
Watch 2 things here. First of all, watch Werner when he holds him. The other one is watch Cooley concentration on this ball, number 9. Look at this. He's beaten, so he grabs him there. That's a smart play because this would have been a touchdown.
It was a stop and go. Little stop. Had Werner to stop his the defensive back came up, and then he tried to get around him. He grabbed him. The ball was in the air.
Collie ain't no hound dog. Second big play he's made tonight. 31-yard pickup. First down as they take the play. In the red zone, trying to keep it on the ground, and the ground game's going nowhere. RB Unga taken outside and dropped for a loss.
I talked to Neuheisel last week. He is the quarterback coach for the Baltimore Ravens. They were in Miami and let the Dolphins beat the Ravens.
Yes, they did.
Thank you very much. But I talked to Rick on the field before the ball game, and yes, he's very interested. He had a big smile on his face. He says, I've talked to him once. I'm going to talk to him again. And I said, you'd like to get back in college football, and I think that's the place he would like to be. I know a lot of the alumni and a lot of the former players and the big-time alumni at UCLA, I think they like Rick Neuheisel also.
Here's Max Hall. Quick throw. And completes his tight end, who is also an All-Mountain West Conference performer. Pitta came in with 54 catches, has a couple more now on this drive.
Well, he's their leading receiver, and when it's crunch time to go to someone, this team really likes to go to their tight end.
So third down, a big one here for BYU, trying to keep this drive alive. They've done it by penalty. They've done it with a long ball. And now third down and 5, and Hall in the shotgun. Max has got time, throws, and it's incomplete inside the 5-yard line. Colley had a hand on it. Werner was draped all over him, and looks like BYU's going to have to settle for a field goal attempt as well.
The idea, UCLA feels really good about their 4 defensive backs, especially their corners and the ability to cover Colley and Reed and Allen. So the inside guys need to take away the tight end and the running back. So if I was BYU right now, I'd be throwing to those 2 inside guys.
Matt Allen, all taped up, is back out there as the all-valuable holder as well. And Mitch Payne will try a 29-yard field goal to try to tie things up. Kick on the way, and it is good. So good-looking drive for BYU. They even things up with 1:06 left in the first quarter. Matthew Slater, who's never really been a starter, but he's the single season and career touchdown man as far as kick returns. If you know the last name, it's because his daddy was a good one and a Hall of Famer for the Rams. Jackie and Annie's son, Matt, one of the top kick returners in the country. And Dwayne Walker says he epitomizes what you want in a college football player. Never really been a starter, but every day he's an example to his teammates by the way he plays.
Kicking it away from him.
Trying to, but he's got it at the 18, and whew, he got popped pretty good at about the 30-yard line. Now we got another quarterback in now for UCLA as they continue to work through, and that's Brandon Rizell, the wide receiver, who's taken some snaps. Well, you know, just to kind of finish it off, we can maybe get back to the football game, which would be kind of nice because I'm not the athletic director and I don't really care who UCLA hires as a coach.
Well,
but when you're the MVP of a Rose Bowl, and you're pretty well thought of.
And we've known Rick Neuheisel for a long time.
Yeah.
We've covered his games at Colorado and at Washington, known him for a long time. You know, sure, has he done some things he maybe not should have done? Yes, but you know, every coach in that conference has people that don't get along. Right. They don't get along with each other.
That's right.
And you know, if they would hire Rick Neuheisel, I would say that would be a great hire for UCLA.
You see that Osar Rashawn's on the sideline with a stocking cap on, and Ben Olsen, who would have been the starter, likewise, and that means McLeod Bethel Thompson is the guy that's taking the snaps right now. 3-3 ball game in the Pioneer Las Vegas Bowl on a cool night in the City of Lights.
Welcome back to the Pioneer Las Vegas Bowl.
Our people love doing those types of things. Bruce Davis in the middle there and had the play of the game so far. 3-3 UCLA and BYU as we start the second quarter from the Pioneer Las Vegas Bowl, Sam Boyd Stadium. Third down. Bethel Thompson running for his life, and down he goes. It'll be fourth down. Jan Jorgensen coming around the corner, and he's the guy that got the sack.
Bethel Thompson is the better of the two players and quarterbacks in throwing the ball. He's much more accurate. Rashawn is much better running quarterback. And that is the 16th run for UCLA and only one pass.
Thanks for a short game, I guess. Perez to punt. Mahuika camps under it at about the 27. Got by the first wave. He's not going to get by the second wave. And BYU now will go to work offensively with good field position. That's something they've had in their favor against UCLA so far tonight. I tell you what, guys, though, I wouldn't want to take the interim tag away from my name if I was playing my fourth quarterback in a bowl game. That's not a good sign.
You know, it's tough. You know, UCLA, you want to make a good showing. You know, they're going to do what's safest, and that's going to be run the football and let your defense try and win it for you.
And, of course, you got BYU who's trying to get a little payback from that second week of the regular season.
Yeah, and they're throwing a lot of stuff at it, and they're attacking the corners. When Bob was talking about the corners going man-to-man, that's where they're working the ball, back to the outside.
And Bakapuna picked up 5 or 6. And a chilly night in Las Vegas, too. It was about 41 at kickoff. Second down at 4. Here comes a blitz. Hall stands in, takes a shot, and just a little too deep.
He had him, too. There was nobody in the center of the field. And Max knew that if he just threw it to the inside, he had a good shot.
Kyle Bosworth let him have it right between the 1 and the 5, though, as he was letting go of the football.
Boy, they had two linebackers there. They had Carter, but This is a pass that was covered very well.
Look, nobody in the center of the field. That's what he's looking at. And he threw it too far to the outside. He should have thrown it more to the inside. Let him run across the field.
He was just about to get killed.
He was getting his ribs rearranged while he was trying to get it to the middle of the field. That was the problem.
Don't you love quarterbacks? Hey, throw the ball in the middle of the field. He's getting killed back there.
Woulda, coulda, shoulda, yeah. Right.
3rd down and 4. Hall from the shotgun. Looks and waits, throws a quick slant, completes. Forward progress might be a 1st down. Harvey Unga, and now we got a scuffle going on after the play's over. Can't we all just get along during the holidays? Somebody lost their hat in the whole mix. That was Fenga. And Bruce Davis is involved as well. If you missed it early on the opening drive of the ball game for BYU, Davis put a big hit on Max Hall, who coughed up the football, and that fumble recovery was the leading way for UCLA to go down and get the first score of the ball game, a field goal. And on the last drive, BYU had an answer as they went 51 yards in 6 plays and got a field goal of their own. There's the total yardage situation. BYU with the advantage, and you can see UCLA has not completed a pass yet in the ball game. That's Dwayne Walker, the interim head coach, after Carl Durrell was relieved of his duties after his 5-year stint as the head man of the Bruins. Oh boy, Hall got a good block from somebody, or he would have never even got back into the backfield, I don't think.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, and if that ball is on target, Trey Brown has a touchdown on the defense. He read this thing perfectly. He made a jump on the outside on Michael Reed, and he was just waiting on this ball.
Well, the defensive backs know that it's a blitz up front. So they know that the quarterback is either going to get sacked if he holds it very long, or he's got to throw it quickly. So they're looking to jump on some route.
So it's 2nd and 10 at the 45. Here they come again. Unga's going to try to run by him. Well, Davis has got him wrapped up, but he picked up about 3 yards on the play. Max Hall is 7 out of 11. And he's back to throwing a full blitz again, and they get to him, and it's Davis with his 2nd sack of the night, and he almost took the BYU quarterback's head with him.
Well, he ran right around Dallas Reynolds, number 65, the left tackle. Dallas Reynolds didn't even have a chance. And Bruce Davis, he's just heading right for the quarterback. This is his 2nd sack. Watch this. This is unbelievable. It's coming from the other side, the backside. Watch, you're going to see him jump on his head. Bonk.
And there were some words spoken between those two after that play. Trust me. 28.5 sacks, 2 tonight, 2 in the first meeting between these two teams. Number 2 all-time on UCLA's list, and he is wreaking havoc right now in the BYU backfield. Santiago to punt. Hit it a mile in the air into the Las Vegas Knights, and the fair catch is taken, and it's loose, and I think BYU's got it. They do. 2nd time tonight, UCLA's had trouble with a punt. Different guy this time, Terrence Austin, and he coughed up the football.
Hey, you know, this is one of those deals. When that ball's that high, just let it go. Get out of the way. There's no reason for you to catch this ball or even try to catch this ball. Watch this, because he's not under control. Look at this. He's moving. There's guys all around him, and now the concentration is not there. He doesn't have his feet under him. Should never catch this ball.
I disagree. You've got to come up and catch the ball. The problem is you just got to catch it. You cannot drop the football. As we mentioned, it's a different guy from the last time.
Verner was the first guy.
The defensive back dropped the first one. This time Austin did.
What I'm saying is, if you're not sure, get out of the way.
Yeah.
1st down at the 14. See if Hall tries to go for a quick one. He does. Fade to Colley in the corner. Touchdown. We had to wait and wait and wait for the official, and it's a touchdown in the corner. 14 yards. They did indeed go for the quick strike.
I really like the call by offensive coordinator Robert Anai, the offensive coordinator of turnover, positive territory. See if he gets his feet in with possession.
Got it. Left foot's down.
Yep.
Right foot's going on the way out, but the left foot was down.
Yeah, that's a good call, and I like the call. Go right after him. Go for the touchdown.
Mitch Payne for the point after. Ooh, knuckleball, but he got it through there. So Oh, it's been a lot of times this year when it's been Austin Collie on the receiving end. That's his 7th touchdown catch of the year. For Max Hall, his 25th of the season, and BYU leads by 7. Bruce Davis,
his heart's
2
pounding.
sacks. He is still geared up. He gave the team a little talking to in the middle of the huddle before the game. He was just as animated then as he is continuing to be now. Here's the bounce and the catch. Slater picks up on the kick return out to the 23-yard line.
Nice job of the kickoff team kicking it over in the corner, not giving him any room.
Good point. See if they go back to the ground game with Markey, who played really well in the opening draw. Oh, man, was he hitting the hole, and he popped it outside and almost broke it. Kellen Fowler finally holding on for dear life, and he's going to be very close to a first down, maybe just a little bit short.
We're just seeing a lot of guys. I mean, the power of these guys running. You better hold on to these guys in the hole. When you tackle these guys, there's no one-arm deal.
I think why we're seeing so many of the little push and shoves and the frustrations. I think BYU is frustrated because they haven't won in a long time against UCLA. And I think UCLA is frustrated because they've lost 4 of their last 5. They've had high expectations at the beginning of the year, and then nothing good has happened after that.
Rashawn keeps it this time, and again shows his running prowess as he's almost out to midfield. Pickup of about 7. Bolden in on the stop defensively for BYU.
We're talking about the Mormons, and most of these guys are Mormon, and they believe in the Mormon faith. But Lavelle Edwards said it true really years ago when he said about the Mormons, when they come to Vegas, they bring the 10 Commandments and $10, and they don't break either one of them.
Coach Edwards, I'm sure, is either here or watching.
Coach Edwards said that?
Yeah, it
yes,
was one
he
of the
did.
great lines of all time.
I
love
remember when Lavelle said it the first time around, and it's still good, though. You got to admit.
It works.
Let's say hello to Lavelle, whether he's watching or we used to be old golfing buddies. He used to be come down to the Doral Ryder Open all the time.
And on the ground, and a first down and a driving run by Christian Ramirez. Kellen Fowler finally brought him down, but he just dragged people about 9 yards.
Now, Ness, look where he ran again. They're running to the left side, and to the left side is where Jorgensen is. And this guy's got 12 sacks, but he doesn't have a whole lot of tackles. And that's where they're going at. They're going at number 84.
Well, you mentioned he's not the biggest guy in the world. They list him at 260. That may or may not be the case.
No, I saw him. He came out in just a T-shirt, and nice 260. He just solid as a rock.
You saw him before the game and just in a T-shirt?
Yeah, scared me.
First down.
Still no passing yards for UCLA.
Now it's an end around and maybe a pass.
Yeah.
Oh, look on the other side.
And they are going deep and overshooting everybody. They told Brandon Brazil, you know what, if you're going to throw this thing, get it out there for either our guy or nobody.
Right.
He put a lot under it.
And so often you'll see that you put the ball in a receiver or a halfback's hands and they'll throw an interception. At least he threw it away when the guy was not open.
Brandon came in the leading receiver for UCLA with 47 catches, none tonight, obviously, as they have no passing yards.
For those who weren't with us at the beginning, neither of their top 2 quarterbacks, Ben Olsen or Pat Cowan, are in the ball game because of injuries.
Here's number 3, Osar Rashawn, trying to run the show with a 2nd and 10. Gives it off Markey on the left, and he got down to about the 35-yard line to pick up a 6 as we have Moline back in the UCLA backfield. 3rd down and 4. Bruins trying to tie things up here before halftime. Rashawn scrambles, going to be horse-collared from behind, and down he goes.
Had a man open in the flat, too. All you needed was 4 yards, and it was there. He just didn't see him.
Brian Keel made the tackle. Brian Keel was Ben Olsen's roommate when Ben Olsen was at BYU as a freshman.
Yeah, when you have time to throw the ball, but all of a sudden he just, you know what? He just decides. Rashawn decides to run a little too quick.
Yeah, he just a little. He's a running quarterback, not as. Bethel Thompson is much more at ease in the pocket throwing the football.
Keith Forbath has hit from 54 yards in his career. He's going to try a 52-yard field goal. The kick on the way. I think I can see why he's hit from 54. He nails a 52-yard field goal. Forbath tacks on 3 more for the Bruins. And their emotional leader still stalking around on the sideline.
He sure is.
UCLA to kick. And again, Bryce Mahuika is back deep. Waits on it at about the 10-yard line. It's Colley there. He had a good return to start the game. He's got another one going across the 40. Boy, has he been brilliant on kick returns tonight. Colley, who's got the touchdown, the lone touchdown in the game.
I tell you,
33-yard kick return.
He's something else. Quick feet. You know, he just a sophomore.
Yep.
He was here 3 years ago, spent his freshman year. Then he went for 2 years on a mission, and now he just came back. And sometimes when these guys come back from missions, Paul, you don't know how you're going to come back, but pretty good footwork right there.
His dad was a good player for BYU in the late 70s and early 80s. His brother Zach, in fact, signed free agent contract with the Eagles this past year. So family history, as there is so much of in the BYU program. Oh, knocked down for a loss in a hurry. And it's Reggie Carter this time, the weak side linebacker, who makes the play.
Guys, Colley was telling me when he came back from his mission, you know, he sort of expected to take a while for him to get back in physical shape. It was the mental part that really caught him off guard. He said, when you're on a mission, you know, you're not really thinking about football, so you lose stuff, how you run routes, all the technique. And when he first got back, he was dropping all these balls, and it really started getting into his head. So he and Max Hall spent day after day catching extra balls off practice, and he finally got back on track. And thank goodness for BYU, because he's been so dominant for them this season.
Sometimes you see he and Max Hall having words out there. And Colley's dad says, I think it's great because they're so competitive and they do put in all that extra time, and that's just them being the brothers out there on the field, basically pushing each other to be their best. 13-yard pickup there.
Well, talking to Bronco Mendenhall the other day, you know, I didn't know, I don't think any of us knew that when they go on these missions, they don't work out as per se. I mean, they go.
You get about 30 minutes a day of your own time.
30 minutes a day, but that's not working out. They're not. So a lot of these guys, they're away from athletics, they're away from sports, and they're doing their mission work. So when they come back, some of these guys, when they come back, obviously mentally they're not into it, but some of them kind of lose their desire to do what they were doing 2 years previous.
They could come back 20 pounds lighter or 20 pounds fatter.
Yes.
And neither way is that's very good sometimes.
He says he's had, Bronco was telling us 73 of his players out of the 105 have been on missions.
Right.
So when they're 19 years old is when they start taking on a mission.
You have to be 19.
And I said to him, I said, you know, you can recruit guys for 2008 and you won't see them until 2010. He says that's absolutely true.
Well, what did he say? He had 29 players right now that were out on missions.
Well, I think the interesting one too is they have 4 defensive backs on this football team. I know the offense is on the field, but all 4 defensive backs are walk-ons.
Ball comes up throwing, completes it, keeping his feet. Seminoff, and he's down to the 35-yard line, close to a first down. Got about 9.
Just let me explain it for the people that really don't understand. A walk-on is a guy that goes into this school. I mean, and he doesn't have a scholarship, and they've all earned scholarships, every single one of them.
Bronco was telling us that not only does he have 29 players that are out on missions now, but in January, next month, 15 more players will go out. Now, some of those ones will come back, but it's always a revolving door. You got some coming, you got some going, and he never has 85 scholarship players on his campus at the same time.
And yet they win.
Exactly.
Second and a yard. Going to be a loss by Vakapuna on that play. And again, Kevin Brown made a nice play. Third down and a long 3. Hall out of the shotgun throw. Oh, man, nice catch out there. That one looked like it was going to sail on him a little bit. But Andrew George, the tight end, snatched it out of midair, and he's got a first down.
I like the short passing of Max Hall, Grace. I mean, that ball was perfect.
Well, and it's well designed, too. It's well designed with the motion across. You see it's man coverage. The defensive back is trailing, and you get him the ball. BYU has had 7 third down situations, and they have all been 3rd down and 5 or less. Now that's winning football.
At the 28-yard line, first down, there's Max Hall's numbers. The All Mountain West first-team quarterback. First down at the 28-yard line of UCLA, trying to tack on more points here before halftime. And again, the blitz on the way. Hall lofts it, and it is almost one-handed, and now a flag flies in. And we're going to have interference, it appears, again on Trey Brown, number 23. Boy, he and Collie, you know, they were tied up in the first regular season matchup. Collie had 2 touchdowns, but Trey had a 56-yard interception return for a score, and they're going at it again here in the Pioneer Las Vegas Bowl.
Well, Collie's given not only Trey Brown.
Defense, number 23. By rule, the ball placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic, first down.
Man to man, bump and run right here.
Yeah, here they go, and he's also given Werner problems. Collie, I mean, look at the concentration. He almost makes his catch.
Well, you know, Trey Brown's given away 5 or 6 inches in height out there, and they know it. 3rd penalty tonight, all in defense.
And there's a lot of man coverage on the outside. Those corners trying to cover the wide receivers.
Haul off play action goes to the end zone. Touchdown, BYU. Michael Reed. "13-yard scoring toss to Reed, his 4th touchdown catch of the year."
He just ran right by Rodney Van, number 3. 3 on 3.
Mitch Payne will come in for the point after. BYU thumped Oregon a year ago in the Pioneer Las Vegas Bowl. Have a 17-6 lead now on UCLA of the Pac-10.
It's going to come from the left side. Watch the protection. Reed on Van. No safety in the middle of the field. Lots of man coverage. Lots of blitzing. The UCLA thinks they can cover. Just going to be a little post route to the center of the field. Look at this. Nobody in the middle of the field right here. That's a quarterback loves to see that, especially if you got a slant or a post to that vacant area.
2nd touchdown pass in Bronco Mendenhall. Knows what he's got in Max Hall. A good one. And we only have 1 minute 3 seconds remaining in the half. UCLA has 1 timeout remaining. Slater from the 14. And bottled up at about the 32-yard line. And finally going down. Clyde Bethel-Thompson again has continued to rotate with Osar Rashan. And the waning moments, they need his arm if he can get rid of the ball. And now he's going to run. And he's across the 40, and he might have a first down. Look out over there on the sideline. So Bethel-Thompson shows his wheels as well. Got what he could.
There are some completions to be had in this secondary because BYU plays a soft 3-deep zone containing, just keep everything in front of you. So there are some things that you can have. You can throw some deep outs. You can throw some square ins.
If you have some time.
If you have some time.
You can throw anything if you have some time. These guys haven't had much time.
Since I left the quarterbacking the field and I came up here, I don't look at the quarterback anymore. I just look downfield to see where these guys are running and how open they are.
They gave him the first down at the 42-yard line out of the shotgun. Bethel-Thompson, here's the deep out, and you got to have guys that catch the ball too. That would help.
Yeah, that's true.
That helps every quarterback. That's Ryan Graves who couldn't hold on to that one.
It's amazing what concentration will do when you're trying to catch a ball. You got to look it all the way into your hands.
Cale Buchanan was the guy that broke it up. Buchanan, Criddle, Fowler, Hodgkiss, those are the walk-on guys that Paul was talking about back there in the secondary, including Buchanan, who's a California native out of San Jose. 2nd down and 10, and again, UCLA, you can see, has 1 timeout remaining up there in the left corner of your screen, and 39 seconds to work. Now they get a hitch, and trying to get out of bounds is Brazil, and he is about 4 yards short. That's the first completed pass for UCLA in the ball game, and there's a half-minute left in the first half. That's not real good.
That doesn't speak very well.
No, and you're behind by 11 points, and you're not going to be able to run against this team. You got to remember one thing about BYU. They have not given up a 1,000-yard rusher this entire year.
100-yard rusher.
I mean, 100-yard rusher, excuse me.
3rd down and 3. Bethel-Thompson in the gun, looking left the whole way. Better get rid of it. Down the middle and batted down in the secondary by Hodgkiss, who came right over the top of the receiver with a right hand to knock that ball away. It was intended for Terrence Austin.
Well, you're seeing what the problem has been all year for UCLA, and that is not very good quarterback play. The top 3 quarterbacks for UCLA have a combined in the nation. The pass efficiency rating, they're 115th in the nation out of 119 teams. Not very good play at quarterback. A lot of their guys have been hurt.
Perez hit that punt about 2 miles in the air, and Mahuika made the fair catch down inside the 10. At the 8-yard line, they put it on the ground, and the ball comes out. That's the problem with a handoff this late in a half, and UCLA's got the ball. I was going to say, why not take a knee? Why think about putting it in somebody's hands?
You just want to do something that's safe.
That wasn't.
No, this ball is stripped, and it's stripped just during the handoff. You talk about great penetration, which this defense has been getting all night, but watch the penetration by the defense. Look at this. They're in the backfield. There's a handoff, and just as the handoff comes, that's Brian Price, number 92. He's in there making a play.
Yeah, without Price in there, that ball is not on the ground.
No.
Good call.
Dennis Keys recovers it. 1st and goal, UCLA. At the BYU 4. Could change the whole complexion of this game if they get points before halftime. And I mean, if they get a touchdown, it's completely different. Bethel Thompson, fade to the corner. Caught, but I think out of bounds. Joe Cowan couldn't get his feet down.
Yeah, he was out of bounds, and they don't have that NFL rule where he was forced out. UCLA, has 1 timeout left.
7 seconds left.
You still have time. You really do. You still have time to run one play. One.
And then you bring out Forbath and try to get a cheap 3 before intermission.
And if I'm going to run, I'm going left.
It can't be a running play. You got to throw the football.
Right. I know, but I would like to see that.
Yeah, I mean, what I'm saying is you got to throw a slant.
Something quick.
Yeah, something quick.
Brazil, Austin, out to the left. Cowan, flank to the right. Bethel Thompson in the gun. 7 seconds left. Bethel Thompson throws quick. Touchdown! Caught in the back by Brazil with a second to go in the half. And a huge miscue by BYU, putting the ball in the hands of a guy when your quarterback could take a knee. And this has changed the game completely.
You're exactly right. That turnover, you just can't do that. Now, it wasn't the back's fault. It was the offensive lineman's fault for not blocking the defensive lineman.
Let's give the defense a little bit of credit now, Green. I mean, that time it was just, the way that Brian Price came in, no one really, you're right, no one blocked the guy.
I mean, we need to get a shot of Brian Price because he's the one that's responsible for 7 points on the board.
And Dennis Keys, who recovered it. And number 1, Brazil, who made a nice catch on what I thought was a great throw on that last play by Bethel Thompson. And now, instead of 17-6 at the break, it's 17-13 at the break. Quite a difference. Let's take you back one more time. There's 7 seconds left on this snap. And here it is.
You got the 3 guys over here, and Brazil is going to get to the back of the end zone. And Bethel Thompson, who is a 4th-string walk-on quarterback, right here.
Put it right on the money.
Well, look, there's nobody deep in the middle of that secondary either.
So halftime, 17-13. Quite a final few seconds from the Pioneer Las Vegas Bowl. And now we're going to have a heck of a second half. BYU with the lead by 4 at halftime. The Pioneer Las Vegas Bowl, Sam Boyd Stadium on a cold night here a couple days before Christmas. And a pretty good ball game, 17-13. Quite a turnaround in the waning seconds of the second quarter. And now who knows when Slater gets his hands on the ball here. And he is pounded at about the 30-yard line. Statistically, in the first half, you don't very often see something like 12 yards of passing and you're within 4 points, and actually 11 yards of passing for UCLA. Only 111 total yards, and yet they're right in the thick of the ball game.
BYU only 2 yards rushing.
Yeah, and that's kind of strange too, because they had an all-conference rusher in Harvey Unga had over 1,200 yards coming in, and they've been unable to do anything on the ground. And a first down. McLeod Bethel Thompson laying one out, and he's got Brazil, who tiptoes out of bounds, but he's got a big gainer down to the 43-yard line.
If you let Bethel Thompson stay in the pocket and give him some protection, he can put the ball on the money. He is an accurate thrower. Jay Norvell telling me before the ball game, he can throw it. He just can't run around very much.
It's really nice what play action does too. That's a little stretch play, that fake stretch. Well, look at this ball. It drops right in Brazil's hand. Isn't that neat?
Longest play tonight for UCLA, 25 yards.
And on first down, too. You got best down to throw on is first.
And Markey, not much gain there, maybe a yard. Here we've got 3.5 to go in the third. 17-13 BYU, but UCLA's got something working right now in BYU territory at the 43-yard line. Bethel Thompson, quick throw, it's intercepted. Snatched by Hotchkiss. What a grab by Corby Hotchkiss. Intended for Terrence Austin.
I'll tell you what, this is, you talk about moving up and making a play on the ball. You've got guys that are sitting 4 deep. Now watch Hotchkiss. He reads the quarterback, and that's just an outstanding interception.
They're playing zone. Hodgkins, number 14, has the short outside, and he's hoping that this is the play they're going to throw. He's baiting the quarterback to throw it, gets out there and makes the interception.
His third of the year, and a diving catch and a great one by Hotchkiss has given it back to the BYU offense at its own 39-yard line. Colley, they fake the end around to him and come back to throw the other way to Pitta, the tight end. And he's across the 45 and out to the 47-yard line. I beg your pardon, that was Seminoff, not Pitta.
They
go ahead, Paul.
No, I was just going to say they play so many guys in their offense as wide receivers, tight ends in the backfield. I like the way they use their offense.
7 different receivers is what Paul's talking about. They get a lot of guys involved. And this guy's the one pulling the trigger, Max Hall. In the shotgun on 2nd down and 2. Now they shift the backs and just put them on opposite sides. And that'll give him a chance to hand off to this guy, Unga, and he blasts his way down to the 46-yard line of UCLA and a first down.
If they get their running game going, which it looks like they're doing here in the third period, they get their running game going. This first of all controls the ball, and it'll run UCLA out of the game.
Kyle Bosworth has made the last 2 tackles, the linebacker. Straight up the middle this time with Tonga, and he got maybe a yard to the 45. Reggie Carter made the tackle. Tonga's a big load, 6-footer, about 235.
Only 2 seniors on this BYU offense, so we're getting a lot of guys back next year and some in from their missions.
They get a lot of guys back every year.
Yeah.
2nd down and 9. Final half minute of the third quarter. Hall in trouble, and down he goes. Blasted by Kyle Bosworth, who's made 3 big plays on this drive alone.
Boy, they do a great job when they blitz, and I mean they sell it out. They sell their whole blitz out. And this is Dwayne Walker, who is the interim head coach. This is his defense, and this is what they do so very well.
And third quarter's come to a close. BYU still in front, trying to hang on to a 4-point lead. 17-13. What are you guys laughing about? We got a good Pioneer Las Vegas Bowl going in a 4th quarter yet to come from Sam Boyd Stadium. 3rd down and a bunch. UCLA thinking about a blitz off the corner. Max Hall in the shotgun. Pitta, the tight end, in motion. Hall got a wide open field the other way, but he's got a long way to go to try to get to a first down. He might have got him into field goal range with the scramble that he had, though. And a flag down at the end of the play. So let's wait and see. He got it to about the 32-yard line.
Looks like a late hit by BYU.
And
Dead ball. Personal foul. Number 53. Offense.
first penalty against BYU all game, and it's going to negate a pretty good game. Welcome back, everybody. Brad Nessler, Bob Greasy, who's got the Tennessee end zone over here with a sweater, and then Santa, who's shedding all over us like some kind of sheepdog. But happy holiday, Santa.
I'll do anything for one of those Pioneer televisions.
if you can bag 3 of those, we're all set.
I know they're going to send us one. I know they are, because they were up here.
All right, we got a punt coming up. from BYU as Santa clears away some of the Christmas cookies he had at halftime. Fair catch taken and gotten about the 17-yard line is where UCLA is going to take over. Bruin's got a chance now. I think Bethel Thompson's getting a little bit more calm in the pocket, and they've still got an opportunity, only down 4.
When you consider everybody that UCLA has lost, and what I'm talking about is their top 2 quarterbacks, actually the 4-string quarterbacks playing, and they're in this ball game in the 4th quarter, I think they're in a great position.
BYU's got the lead.
Yeah, but I think it says a lot, Jay Norvell. I really think that this guy did a great job with his football team, getting them prepared for this game and getting me out of this beard.
Get away from me. This coat picks up everything. Here's Markey trying to ease his way through the crowd for about 2 yards, maybe 3. Kelly Popinga made the stop. There's Jay. First year after 3 years coaching with Bill Callahan at Nebraska.
Yeah. He was at Iowa with the Stoops brothers.
And he was all Big Ten defensive back with Bobby and Mike Stoops. All those guys were together. And sometimes when you listen to them talk, they have a lot of the same mannerisms even.
Played for Hayden Fry back there.
Yep. Bethel Thompson, and he's going to throw this one in the dirt. So UCLA, a 6-6 season, not a football championship season, but did you know that when you pack a whole bunch of sports together, on May 13th, they became the first school in history to win 100 NCAA championships. That's pretty impressive. Did you get cleaned up over there, Santa?
Yeah, look at this. I look like I slept with 4 dogs.
3rd down and 7.
4-legged kind.
Have a bad prom date, Paul? Bethel Thompson waits, fires deep down the middle. He's got a gang wide open out near midfield, and it's Cowan. And he had so much time.
Oh, you got to credit the offensive line and then Bethel Thompson for hanging in there and finally found somebody that was open.
Fowler's the guy that brought him down.
Take a look. Watch the protection first of all. He's looking around. Everybody's covered. Everybody's covered. Now somebody got to come back. He's going to find one of the receivers down the middle of the field. And only because he had time to look did that play work.
Tell you what, I like the way he's playing right now. If they get a touchdown on this drive, they'd have the lead for the 4th quarter. 10 minutes remaining. They're down by 4.
Markey is approaching 100 yards. Nobody's run against 100 yards versus BYU's defense this year. Didn't you come up with that earlier?
I said 1,000 and I was corrected by Ness, but it was 100 yards. And how many's he got?
He's got 91.
Ooh. Go left. Go left.
He comes out. Ramirez.
He's going to run right, Brad. Going to run right.
He'll take his spot. And they're going left. And it's Ramirez inside the 40. Down to the 38-yard line. Pick up a 5.
Please do us one favor, and you know this game is very serious. We tell the Hank Stram story because people didn't hear it before.
If you didn't hear it before. When there was a time when Jack Buck would do the World Series, I would do the Monday Night Radio with Hank Stram, and invariably he would go to Jack Buck over all those years. Those guys were so great together. He'd say, "They're going left, Jack. They're going left, Jack." And on the play, Jack would go, and they give it off on the right side. So when Hank would do that to me, "They're going left, Brad. They're going left, Brad." I know, they give it off on the right side. That's where that all came from. And we laugh about it just about every weekend when we get together. Doesn't take much to amuse us, folks. And they got another 1st down run. Shane Moline this time picked up 4. Therio, the fullback, in motion. Nope, they're going to keep it on the ground. And Markey, maybe 2 if he's lucky. Kelly Popinga made the stop.
With Ben Olsen out, guys, UCLA knew they were going to have to rely on their ground game today, which has been really refreshing for Chris Markey just because he's been so banged up the entire season between turf toe and an ankle injury. He had such high expectations for himself after last year because he led UCLA in rushing and receiving, but he just hasn't been able to be healthy, and frankly he was forced into the lineup because Khalil Bell got hurt early in the year, but he's a senior and he really wants to go out on a high note, so this is a great opportunity for him.
When they lost Bell, they lost some of their physicalness because you're right, he's more of a scat back, Markey, although he's playing tough tonight between the tackles. Look out, got the pass away to Markey, and he drew a crowd in a hurry. And Jorgensen was the guy bringing the heat again.
Well, that was a little screen. You know, somebody on the offensive line took off, and you got to slow these defensive linemen down just a little bit. Markey's going to fake like he's going to block Nixon there, and then turn around and catch the ball. Neither offense has been very good in the second half. We've had 8 possessions, and we've had 7 punts and 1 interception.
Here's the biggest third down of the ball game, especially if you're a Bruin fan. 3rd and 8, 6:40 remaining. Bethel Thompson in the shotgun. Waiting, maybe waiting too long. He throws it, try to avoid the sack. Nixon and Jorgensen again applying the pressure. So they wasted an opportunity by having great field position to be forced to punt now. I beg your pardon, they're going to try the field goal.
Let's take a look and see what he was looking for. You got 4 receivers going downfield.
Well, that's great coverage, Bob. There's nobody open. There's absolutely nobody open.
He just needed to get rid of the ball, which he did.
Remember, Forbath hit a 52-yarder the other direction, 50 yards this time on the way, and he's got him that much closer. 2 big kicks. How big has this guy been for UCLA this year? He has hit all his 50-plus yard field goals, 5 of them, which is a UCLA record I mentioned going to break, including 2 tonight, 52 and 50, and he's got his team within a point now.
And UCLA didn't have to go very far because they got that ball on their own, on the BYU 46-yard line. The exchange of punts, the field position, they picked up 21 yards on the last 2 exchange of punts to help them not have to move very far down the field.
Who's the guy at the beginning of this game said that UCLA defense and special teams?
I think it was Mr. Greasy.
Oh.
Colley's been great at kick returns tonight. They probably like to keep it away from him. And they did by kicking very short at the 21-yard line and a cartwheel at about the 32. We got 6:19 remaining in the Pioneer Las Vegas Bowl. BYU clinging to a 1-point lead. Max Hall comes up throwing, completes out to the 40. And
incomplete.
He had it and dropped it. Let's take a look at our game track presented by Diamond Trading Company. Hall, 179 yards, couple touchdown tosses, both in the first half. And then Bethel Thompson getting better as the game goes along, including a touchdown throw in the final second of the second quarter. And now his field goal kicker is just hit for the second time from 50-plus yards. And now BYU's in a little bit of trouble here unless they can come up with some first downs. That throw is complete. Dennis Pitta, the tight end. It'll bring up a 3rd down and about 5.
I think what's Max Hall in the second half? He's like 5 of 12, I think, after really lighting it up in the first half.
Remember, he had an interception that was returned for a touchdown the first time these 2 teams met in the regular season, which was one of the deciding factors in that 10-point UCLA win. He didn't want to throw a stray one here now.
That's
3rd
true.
down and 5.
Here they come.
Looking left and now across the middle. And his tight end, Andrew George, was looking for a flag and didn't get one.
Can I just say something? We talked about who's the next head coach of UCLA. Let me get my opinion here. Dwayne Walker, he's a defensive coordinator. If he doesn't get the head coaching job, he's going to make someone one great defensive coordinator. And if you're thinking about something, how about a co-head coach and make him the defensive coordinator and the co-head coach?
Well, UCLA is going to get the ball back, and if they get any kind of return on this punt, remember they got a kicker with a great leg that could maybe win it for him on a field goal. Pretty good punt, though. Fair catch called for and taken at the 29 by Terrence Austin. They need about 35 or 40 yards to get their field goal kicker in range.
Don't have to go far, you're right.
Markey's going the wrong way, though. That's the problem. He lost about 3 or 4. Corby Hodgkiss is the guy that forced the play, and he's had a good game from that safety spot, including an interception tonight.
Well, they play that secondary back, as you said, Bob. They go 4 deep in the zone, but those safeties react as well as anybody I've seen so far.
Defensively, BYU, everybody, all 11 players look over to the sideline and they'll flash him the defense with a number, a yellow number.
Bethel Thompson out to the left side and completed it, but not much of a gain. Out to the 34-yard line. Here's a huge third down coming up.
And they don't have to really get too greedy. They have 3 timeouts, UCLA, and it's, they've got over 4 minutes.
Well, I said a couple minutes ago it was the biggest third down of the game. Everyone is now, obviously, and this one included. Everybody at Sam Boyd Stadium standing to watch a 3rd down and 4 that might determine the ball game. Bethel Thompson throws. Oh no, he dropped it. Brazil had it and he dropped it.
He was thinking about, he knew, you got to believe he knew he didn't have the first down, and he was trying to turn to get that extra 1.5 or 2 yards, and he didn't concentrate on catching the football.
It's exactly what happened from our vantage point. It was right in front of us.
Here it comes. Just take a look at this throw, and I got to believe he knows he doesn't have the first down yet. Watch, because he's turning to go.
Yeah, you're right. He had 2 defensive backs. He wanted to get another 1.5 yards upfield.
And he knew he couldn't take a knee to make the catch because then it's dead right there. Great coverage on the punts. No return. Nice hustle by Slater and company to get down there to make the hit. So an exchange of punts and not much accomplished by either team with 3:46 remaining in the ball game, and everybody trying to crawl to the finish line here of the Pioneer Las Vegas Bowl. So Bronco Mendenhall, who's Mountain West Conference champions, were perfect this year at 8-0, 9-game winning streak, beaten by the UCLA Bruins in week 2 of the regular season. Dwayne Walker, though, the interim head coach, because Carl Durrell was relieved of his duties after the team lost 4 of its last 5, and they're battling down to the 4th quarter wire here in Las Vegas. Long ball. What a catch by Austin Collie. Wow.
I like the way Max Hall just lays the ball to the outside and gives Collie a chance to adjust to it. He just went and got it like a yellow lab.
That's yeah, I'm going to tell you, this is one of the hardest catches to ever make.
Straight over your
by
head.
a receiver. Yeah, because you really lose sight of the ball. Watch this catch.
Just throws it to the outside. He saved plenty of room to the outside so the quarterback could lay it outside and he'd go get it.
You know those collies that chase frisbees? That's what that looked like.
That's right.
At the 37, 1st down. Collie has been huge as both a kick returner and so valuable as a receiver. Hall hit as he throws. Snatched, though, by his tight end, Andrew George. Short gain, but he held on to it at the 35-yard line.
And the best part about it is he stayed in bounds, and the clock is moving.
Now, Dwayne Walker has got to be able to choose when to use your timeouts.
They got 3.
He has never had to do this. He's never been a head coach, but now, as an interim coach, he's got to know how to call the timeouts.
Point. Great point.
Clock is winding its way, and it'll be under 3 minutes when BYU takes this next snap. Max Hall taking all the time he can, now telling his guys up front, okay, get ready. We got to snap it. Low snap. Hall, the throw is complete. Down to the 32. And it's Collie again. Dennis Keys made the stop, but the clock will wind down under 2.5 or so unless UCLA chooses to stop it.
I think you got to take a timeout here.
7 yards, Dennis Keys to make the tackle on the play. 3rd down and 5.
I think they take the boy, I'd take the timeout.
I would too. I would have taken it right after that.
Here they come after Hall. And he's hit as he throws, and it's harmlessly incomplete, and that stops the clock.
Because offensively, in college football, you can stop the clock by making the 1st down. You can't do that in the pros, so your timeouts, your times out, I should say, are more valuable when the other team's got the ball. You use them to stop the defense, stop their offense from using it, and then when your offense is out there, you can stop the clock with your offense by making 1st downs.
And now they're going to punt the ball instead of trying a long field goal here. This would only be about only 50-yarder.
Yeah, it would have been a 49 or 50-yard field goal attempts. Instead, they've got Santiago out there. Ooh, and he just barely got it away. And if this goes in the end zone, I don't think it made it, though, did it?
No, it didn't.
And boy, the percentages played perfectly, I guess, by BYU. They've got UCLA pinned at the 1-yard line with 2 minutes to go, and UCLA's got all its timeouts. UCLA, the good news for them, they've got the ball. The bad news is they're at the 1-yard line. Markey, well, got him a little bit of room out to about the 11. Pickup of 9.
Has he got 100 yet?
I think that might put him at 99. You still worried about that 100-yard rushing graphic?
I'd like to see him. I'd like to see somebody get it.
Right now, UCLA needs some chunks of yards.
And they're not using they're not taking care of the clock very well.
Well, there's your 100 yards, if that makes you happy, Paul. And he's out of bounds with 1:31 left. And he does become the first 100-yard rusher against the BYU defense this year.
Okay,
will it be good enough?
Ness, you've given him your 2 token runs. Now throw the ball.
That's right. They still have all their timeouts remaining.
And the good point is that in college football, if you don't know, that if you get a first down, the clock stops.
There's the timeouts that Bob just circled. Here's the throw out to Brazil. He wheels on it and gets out to the 25-yard line. Pickup of 8. Now they're going to use one here. Second down and 2. Bethel Thompson. That one almost picked off by Kelly Popinga. It stops the clock again, and now it's going to be 3rd down and 2. So now you need the first down in the next couple of plays. And then you got to get it down the field some.
Well, this is not a bad down to go downfield, because the defense thinks you're going to be picking up the first down. If you don't make it throwing short or deep, you're going to go for it on 4th down anyway.
They will run, though, and he's got the first, and he's got more than that out to the 37-yard line. Now let's see if they can hustle up to the line and save a timeout.
The clock stops until they move the chains, and the referee marks the ball ready for play. So get your offense up there and be ready when the official winds the clock.
They look like they are, and they just got the chains reset. Bethel Thompson, the streak down the sideline, incomplete.
That's a good throwaway. Nothing was there. Take a shot at it and throw it away.
Minute left. Again, right now they're at the 37-yard line. The way their kicker has been kicking, they would like to get it about maybe 28, 29 more yards and give Forbath another crack at a 50-plus yard field goal. It's perfect this year. 5 for 5 from 50-plus. 2 of those tonight. His career long, by the way, is 54 against Oregon earlier this year. Bethel Thompson's got a man wide open, got him. He's inbounds at the 49, and he's got a first down, so the clock will stop again momentarily. Pick up a 13.
This is great management right now by the quarterback. I mean, they're throwing first downs, and you always remember the great Brett Favre said, the only thing you do in a 2-minute drill is move the chain. Just keep moving the chains. And with a field goal kicker like UCLA has, we only need one more first down.
Bethel Thompson looks left, right, now scrambling around, get rid of the ball. He doesn't.
See, hasn't played that much. You don't want to scramble for 4 yards. You want to throw incompletions to stop the clock.
They need to get down to about the 36 or 7-yard line to give their kicker a legitimate shot. They have to take their second timeout, 35 seconds remaining. Well, only one timeout left, so they've got to either get out of bounds, get a first down, then spike it, and then go on to the next play. We'll find out as they go. Hit as he throws, deep out, and it's way over to the sideline. Jan Jorgensen's been kind of a pain to Bethel Thompson, much as Davis has been to Max Hall tonight.
Well, and the thing about it is there was only a 3-man rush on the play. You got 5 linemen, and they can't block 3. Well, they can't block Jorgensen. That's the problem.
I like the defense. They rushed 3, dropped 8, but they played man coverage on the outside. Some tight coverage on the wide receivers.
30 seconds, 1 timeout, 3rd down and 9 for UCLA.
Blitz.
Bethel Thompson, quick throw, and it's caught by the tight end. Going down the sideline. All the way down to the 14-yard line is Logan Paulson. 35 yards. with the blitz coming right in his mush. And Bethel Thompson, what a throw.
What a throw.
BYU gambles, blitzes, leaves the secondary man-on-man. Watch it now. They're going to come from this side over here. That means everybody else is single coverage. The defensive back doesn't get the ball. That was the game right there, as long as the field goal kicker can make a shorter field goal.
It looked like Fowler was going for the interception. Instead, he's burned on a big play. The tight end, the longest play of the game for UCLA, and now they've got it down close. They don't have to worry about a long field goal. They just have to worry about a straight field goal. And now it's Shane Moline who tried to put it in the middle of the field. 13, 12, 11, 10. They'll take it down. They'll call their final timeout, and they'll put it on their kicker to try to win the Pioneer Las Vegas Bowl.
Wait a minute now. This is not automatic.
That guy's been sensational on defense. He's almost crying, the emotional leader of this team.
I mean, he's made a couple of nice long field goals, but this is not a gimme. Trust me.
He's a second-team freshman All-American. Earlier this year, the second week of the season, he had a 37-yarder and a 40-yarder in the 10-point Bruin win over BYU. Tonight, he's hit from 50 and 52. And now they don't ask him for anything except a straight one that will send them to victory and send us to Sports Center.
I don't think you freeze this kid.
Aaron Perez
he's a
will
freshman.
hold.
He's a redshirt freshman.
Yeah, but he's a great high school player.
Perez to hold. Forbath, it's a 28-yard field goal attempt to win the game. The kick is no good. Somebody got a hand in the middle of the field on it.
It was blocked.
And the Cougars celebrate another Pioneer Las Vegas Bowl win.
You know what I just said? You got to center the ball. You got to get the holder down and the kicker kick it. But you can't let anybody up the middle. That's where you got to be strong. Look at where they come.
Right now, the fireworks going off as BYU on a miracle play blocks a field goal on a field goal kicker who was hot all night.
Look at the effort. Check the hold. Hold was good.
It's blocked right up the middle.
Spinning sideways and falling short of the crossbar. It almost had enough as a knuckleball with a spin on it to make it over the bar, but it didn't. The Cougars' winning streak is now 10.
Right here in the middle.
And watch the Cougars go airborne.
Everybody was making an effort.
And right in the middle of the pack, somebody got a hand on it, and I mean just a fingertip maybe. And that's all it took.
Those things aren't automatic.
It might have been
great call.
It might have been Manu Maliuna, I think. And of course, Davis' heart is broken. He played his guts out tonight, literally. We think it might have been Manu Maliuna on the inside, number 55. He's right in the middle of the pack. The kick going up, and I think he's the guy that got it. We may never know. He might be the only one that knows. Final score, BYU 17, UCLA 16. That is going to do it.